Okay, we're picking up with part 3 of the Tiffany Valiante case, and her family have been finding items that belong to Tiffany that police missed. And Tiffany's mother ends up later finding, this is her mother and father with her, and her mother ends up finding her shoes and her headband, all right? And she has police collect the items. Now, police apparently never tested these items either for possible DNA. It was 5 years later that the family were returned to those items, and they tried to get it separately tested, but nothing was ever found. There was also a broken chain of custody with the items, and so it just wasn't very feasible for them. Now, again, police never contacted Tiffany's doctor, her school, friends. They never came back and interviewed family, apparently. So there's just a lot of things missed with this case. A few things to note on a few other reports, though. Apparently, Tiffany had a girlfriend and had broken up with her girlfriend the Friday before this incident. So combination of that, the credit card issue, may have put her in a fragile state of mind, some people believe. But again, very strange circumstances with this case. There was the investigators. Tiffany's family hired the attorney and the investigators, and they found some interesting things in this case. One, apparently there was a pretty large pool of blood near the side of the tracks, and police never tested that blood to determine, what that was or whose blood that might have been. Could there have been a combination of blood between a victim and a suspect? It just wasn't tested. And then also the fact that her shoes were found 2 miles from where she was struck. So that means she would have been walking, apparently, for about a couple miles to this spot where she's hit by the train. But her feet weren't badly bruised or really that dirty, and it just didn't seem like she would have walked on this really harsh ground, this harsh terrain with a lot of rocks and glass. And, these private investigators just thought, wow, that would be really difficult for someone to walk that far. So really bizarre in that regard. And then the fact that she's not really wearing much clothing when this is happening. So moving on from there, from that aspect of the case. Oh, and I should point out the attorney had noted that on the deer camera, it appeared that there were some lights in near the direction of where Tiffany was walking toward, away from the house. And he believed that it might have been headlights and that somebody may have been actually picking up Tiffany and taking her. So this leads to the last point that I want to make with this case, and it's the fact that a convenience worker later comes to police and says they overheard a conversation between 3 males who said that they had heard that a male and 2 females who knew Tiffany at this party apparently had picked her up, taken her out to the woods, stripped her naked, and humiliated her. Didn't really talk much more beyond that, but police ended up interviewing these 3 subjects, and they just completely denied it. Not sure what other follow-up was really done on that. That seems like a pretty big red flag. But I didn't hear a lot more about that from the show or from just some of these other reports. And I'm sure there's a lot more to this, and I might be missing some aspects to this case. But that's kind of a synopsis of it. Really strange. Again, not known to use drugs or alcohol. No medical issues. Healthy, but did have a few strange incidents with theft. Right, some stealing right before this happens, and then she was getting in a fight with her friend. Didn't hear much about the friend either with the credit card. Don't know if she has anything to do with this or not. So what are your thoughts on this case? Do you know anything else? Certainly add those to the comments if you have some more information, and I'm sure there is a lot more to this. But hopefully this creates awareness. The family still does not have peace with this case, and they still believe that there is foul play suspected. Something has happened to her, and that she's the victim of foul play, and it was not suicide. So if you have any information, please reach out. This is still an ongoing investigation that has not officially been solved,